You see that delicious, delicious juice? That's what destroys our hopes and dreams of having quick slam shifts. G'day Internet. Working on the Speed 3. I just wrapped it up for storage about a week ago. We haven't actually gotten snow yet, but it's ready for it. And since I'm storing it at my place, I get to pick away at a couple little projects that I have on the go with it over the winter. And the first one that I want to tackle, and it's not even snowy yet, this is driving me so crazy. One of my shifter cables feels like it is full of molasses. It feels absolutely awful. And driving it, it gets a little bit better as the engine heats up, and I think these cables warm up and the goo gets a little bit more giving. But I have those disconnected, as you just saw. I have a Speed 6 as well, and it is much older and much crappier than this car in every way, and its shifter feels amazing compared to this car. So it's going to be a little bit hard to demonstrate this, so this is still fully connected. It is just the resistance of the cables acting on this right now. Side to side, honestly feels pretty damn good. So this cable, the one left and right, it works great. The one fore and aft feels absolutely awful. So just look at my finger and see how much force I'm having to exert just to move this. This should be like, I should be able to flick this. Certainly I'm not able to flick it. So if I just trying to, it's not that much force, but it's more than a shifter should have. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but this should be like bang, 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 and it's... Maybe that's a good demonstration. It feels like somebody dropped some, like, molasses, as I've already said, down those lines. So I'm going to yank them right out of the car. Earlier this summer, in the engine bay, I left them in the car, and I sprayed a bunch of brake clean and... lubricant down there. That honestly did help, and I was like, oh yeah, I fixed it. And now it feels almost worse than it did in the first place. So I'm going to take these right out, see if I can fix them up, and if I can't, I'm going to have to buy some new ones, probably. But we're going to try and avoid that, since it's got to just be a bunch of goop that's not supposed to be in there. Let's see. Alright, this is about 2 days later. I spent probably 5 hours trying to get a single bolt out because it is in an extremely terrible place. It is a bolt that holds a retainer down that goes about right here in the exhaust tunnel underneath the car, kind of above the downpipe. It is held in by this 12mm nut, and I was not able to get on it with the best geometry because I was doing a contortionist act to get to it whatsoever. As you can see, I marred it up pretty good. Eventually I did get it out. I was trying to get it just with a 1/4-inch ratchet and a socket, and I was able to get it on, but I could not get enough torque on it to actually free the thing. I just ended up slipping off 100 times. It was extremely upsetting. I may have said some bad words, but what ended up doing it was this bad boy. This is a 1/2 inch to 3/8 to 1/4 with this big long one, and then that medium one, and then a swivel, and then a 12. I had to get underneath the car and kind of put it past the downpipe. It was at an angle like this, and got it on there, and somehow managed to get it off after I had mangled it as bad as I did. So anyway, not the point. I'm just still salty about it. So I didn't know if this video was actually going to be useful for anybody, but I think it's going to be. Because if you're someone like me that doesn't want to buy new shift cables, but has shift cables that are full of a bunch of gunk that's slowing them down, making it hard for the cable to pass through, this is how you disassemble them, and this is how you clean them. I'm making the video that I wish somebody else made when I was trying to figure out how to do this. So here we go. This shift cable's good. This one's bad. Oh god. So a minute ago you should have seen how gummed up this was and how much force I had to apply to the end of this to get it to move. Now that I have figured out how to disassemble it and shoot a bunch of penetrant fluid through it and have it dump all over my floor, now it is absolutely silky. Most of that resistance is because it's rubbing on my floor, but hey, watch this, watch this. Just gravity, just the weight of the cable itself will actuate it. So, check this out. Whoop. So that is now my benchmark for smoothness. The other one is not nearly as gummed up, if not gummed up at all, but what I'm going to do is give it the same treatment that I gave to this one. Because, oh man, that's just satisfying. And if I have this thing out of the car, I might as well. And I'm going to use that as an excuse to videotape how to take these things apart so you can actually get to the cable that you need to clean. It's actually a pretty interesting process. I'm probably the first person in the world to have done this. I have a feeling that the videography in this video is not going to be perfect because I'm just holding my smartphone and I have one hand to do what I'm doing. But what you do to crack these apart, I tried many a wrong tactic before I found out the right-ish way to do it. You put it in the vise and you squeeze the bejesus out of it. Here are the ones that I took off. I actually just kind of shoved them back together. They are glued together from the Factoria. And hey, I got glue. I got CA glue. I'll clean this up real nice. Make sure we have a clean surface to mate to. Make sure I don't use too much glue, and it'll go back together just fine. So anyway, how you take these apart, you just give her the old 1-2. We're just going to keep squeezing down on it, see if we can... Oh yeah, there's the 2 and the 1-2 that I was talking about. So we got that in there like that. And what I'm going to do is take 2 flatheads, and we are going to pry against the vise like that. In fact, can I demonstrate this with one hand? That'd be amazing, because this actually isn't that hard to do. So see, they're really splitting apart there. Wonder if we can... It's not hanging on by very much. You get the idea. I'm going to yank these apart off camera. Alright, so, got that off. We got a little bit of a casualty right there, but it's fine. So, this is what that looks like underneath. So, we're going to yank this guy that way. And we're going to pry these rubber bits. Does this... Yeah, this will slide down. Like that. This will come off, and now what you have is, I believe this is Teflon, that's just a guess, but this is kind of like a ball joint, and now if we pull this way, it will come out. And it's actually not that hard to do, but I would recommend having it in the vise. And preferably your vise wouldn't be mounted to a plastic folding table, but it's fine. Come on. Oh yeah, okay, got it. So now we have a place that we can spray stuff. And in order for there to be a place for that stuff to come out all over the floor, we need to repeat the process on the other side. Woo! And there we go. We've cracked our egg. Here's our delicious yolk. So, rubber thing, ball joint thing, clamp her down, give it a yank. So what we're going to do is take some liquid wrench super lubricant, And I was using brake clean as well. This stuff seemed to do a much better job traveling down the line and carrying the crap out of the line so that our shifts can feel awesome. Basically fill up this little cup thing. So now you basically just want to do this and repeat for about half an hour until you're happy with it. We're running low on this stuff. Yeah. So eventually, yeah, you will start to see crap coming up from the line and getting into the fluid. It's a lot dirtier than it was in the first place. And eventually you will start to see crap come out the other side. And if you feel like it, you can flip this upside down and start filling it from the other side. But I'm going to keep doing this and report back whenever I see some stuff come out the other end. You see that? You see that delicious, delicious juice that's coming out of there? That's what destroys our hopes and dreams of having quick slam shifts. See all the crap coming out? You want to do this until that is clear. Oh yeah. Alright, we got it back in the vise. I got 1/2 of one of the coupling connectors, or coupling covers I guess you could call them, on there. I cleaned these up with some brake clean and a brand new paintbrush, just to make sure that the surfaces are free of grease and whatnot. And yeah, we're going to use some of this stuff. The main goal is to not get any glue on any of this other stuff. A little bit's not the end of the world, but what we don't want is for obviously anything involving the moving parts that we just freed up getting covered in glue. That'd be pretty catastrophic at this point. Exo. If you're doing that, probably be wise to clamp on it for a bit. A little bit seeping out, that's not the best. Someone saw that. Oh, god damn it. There we go. Looking pretty clean. Yeah, basically just do that 3 more times. Alright, so we got the other 3 done. And it looks like we have done it without any gluing together of things that weren't meant to be glued together. You want to make sure that you can still spin them around, because if you can't, then you probably glued them together. They all spin just fine. So whenever I have the energy, and whenever it's not nighttime, I will install this back in the car, and I have no doubt that the shifter is going to feel incredible. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.